I'm a substitute teacher. The kid in the back row hasn't spoken all year. Not one word. The regular teacher's note says, selective mutism, don't push him. I didn't push him. I did something else. He spoke on day 3. I took over a 4th grade class on a Monday in January, 22 students. On my desk was a manila folder with a yellow flag. Inside, a single page about a student named Oliver. Selective mutism. Hasn't spoken in class in 11 months. Do not pressure. Do not call on. Minimize direct interaction. Refer all concerns to the school counselor. The school wasn't treating Oliver as a student with a communication barrier. They were running a containment strategy. He had been classified as a non-participating user and routed around. Like a broken node, the network learned to bypass rather than repair. The instructions told me to ignore him. I don't ignore system failures. I diagnose them. I didn't give Oliver a heartwarming speech. That's what adults do when they want to feel helpful without changing anything structural. Instead, I placed a sticky note on his desk before the first bell. I won't ask you to talk. If you need anything, write it here. Or don't. Your call. Asynchronous, low-friction communication channel. No verbal input required. No public performance. Latency tolerance. Unlimited. Response pressure. 0. Oliver didn't write anything on day 1. That was fine. The channel was open. The system was listening. Day 2. A folded sticky note was on my desk when I arrived. The kid in the red hoodie copies my test answers. I can't say anything, so nobody ever stops him. Oliver wasn't disengaged. He was observationally hyperactive. He had identified a system vulnerability, a student exploiting his silence as cover for academic fraud, and couldn't report it because the only reporting mechanism was verbal. The school had built a complaint system that excluded its most observant user. I moved the cheating student's desk that morning. No announcement, no drama. I left a reply on Oliver's desk. Executed. What else? That afternoon, another note. Mrs. Calloway lets us listen to music during reading, but only if we raise our hand and ask. I can't ask, so I never get to listen. The previous teacher had placed a standard classroom privilege behind a verbal paywall. For 21 students, negligible interaction cost. For Oliver, a locked gate. He had been paying a tax on a basic feature for 11 months because the access protocol required a capability he didn't have. This wasn't a speech pathology issue. This was a UX failure. The system was punishing a user for an input limitation the system itself could easily accommodate. Day 3. I changed the rule. Wrote it on the board. During silent reading, 1 earbud allowed for everyone. No permission needed. Automatic. I removed the verbal toll booth. Made the privilege ambient. Available by default. No action required. In my peripheral vision, Oliver pulled earbuds from his backpack. Opened his book. His shoulders dropped 2 inches. First time in my observation window, he was physically relaxed. That afternoon, oral presentations. Bring something meaningful. Tell the class about it. Oliver's file legally exempted him. Standard protocol. Skip him entirely. I left a note. You don't have to speak, but if you want to participate, you can show a picture, play a sound, hold up an object, or just stand at the front for 10 seconds. Any format counts as a deliverable. The KPI is participation, not volume. I had diversified the acceptable output formats. Participation no longer required voice. It required presence. End of class. 21 presentations completed. Oliver stood up. The room went silent. Not teacher enforced, the biological silence that occurs when a system produces unexpected output. He walked to the front, hands shaking. He held a creased photograph against his chest. He turned it around and held it up. A lake, trees, a dock. He looked at the room and he delivered a 4-word verbal output, his first in 11 months. This is my grandfather's. He sat down. The class erupted. Applause, gasps, 2 kids crying. I didn't clap. I walked to his desk and placed a sticky note. Solid presentation, thank you. He folded it carefully and put it in his pocket. When my contract ended Friday, I left a handover brief on the regular teacher's desk. 1 page. Oliver spoke on day 3. 4 words, voluntary, unprompted. He is not nonverbal. He is non-accommodated. The classroom requires verbal input for participation, complaints, and access to privileges. This excludes him from all 3. He can execute when the system allows alternative input formats. Recommendations. Maintain the sticky note channel permanently. Remove verbal requirements from all ambient privileges. Offer multi-format options for presentations. Stop routing around him. Start designing for him.